Hello everyone, Justin here, and today we are going to try drawing a lighthouse. So let's start by drawing a vertical line and then draw a couple lines tapering on either side. Okay, so with perspective, let's say we're at eye level down here, so this horizontal line, which is perpendicular to our center line, will be our eye level, and then we're looking up at the lighthouse. So because this is a tapered cylinder, it's basically round if you look at it directly from above, and when you're looking at it from any other angle, the circle becomes an oval. So here, if you look at this in cross section, it's a straight line. But as you go up, the straight line turns into a circle, but you'll never actually see the circle because you're not going to look at it directly from above. But instead, you'll see these progressively wider ovals or ellipses. So let's go to the top of the tower part, and right here, you'll have, say, a narrow ellipse like this. And then up here, we're going to draw a slightly bigger ellipse. So as we extend this line, we're going to go up closer to the top. So right up here, let's continue these lines, and up here we're going to draw another oval or ellipse that's shorter but getting a little bit wider. So here's a narrow ellipse getting wider and wider. So next we'll go ahead and draw a couple lines for these, again following these angles, and then another ellipse up here, and you'll see what I'm going for here in a little bit. Okay, so from here, let's draw another line going up, and then we're at the very top. So basically, these ellipses, what we're going to be using are the tops of these ellipses, like right here and right here. Here I didn't draw the bottom part of the ellipse because that won't actually be seen as much. So let's just go ahead and start from the top, and you'll see now why I drew these ellipses. So let's go ahead and darken this upper section here and draw another line just parallel to it, just a little bit bigger. And then from here we'll draw a couple straight lines to show the conical top section, and draw a small top piece and kind of like an antenna at the top. Okay, so now let's draw another line just underneath, and then draw these bars that are part of the window, and we're only going to go to this line with these bars. Just make them a little bit thicker, like that. Okay, and then over here then we are going to go ahead and draw the railing, and actually we're going to make this oval or ellipse a little bit farther out. Okay, and go down. Same with this oval here. I actually meant to make that a little bit bigger. So anyway, so here's the top of this section. Let's make that darker and give it some thickness as well, and make it even wider right there. Okay, continuing on, let's drop that line to the next section, and then here let's make this darker with some thickness. And at the ends here, we're going to draw a vertical line. Not vertical, but following this angle. So then let's go ahead and shade this section now while we're here. And this will help hide our ellipse which we had drawn earlier. And give this some texture. And add a cast shadow under that lip right there. Make the sides a little bit darker, just like that. And going back to this railing, we can now add some parts to this railing, giving each of these things some thickness. So now that we have that, we can continue the sections of the window that go down beyond, and we can make those a little bit darker. And we can add these straight lines for the window that go in between the panes of the glass. And as you notice here, we're again following the upper part of an ellipse. Okay, so down here then we have another railing, and we'll just indicate that with some lines. Here's another oval, and just very light lines here, just to kind of indicate, and maybe a couple vertical lines. Alright, so we're getting closer here. Down here then, we have this section, which is going to be the top of the solid structure underneath. Add another line just underneath that. And now we can darken the sides. Okay. So then up here, we're going to go just inside of our initial line, so it steps in a little bit from the side of this lower structure. And add a couple of these lines that go halfway down, and then as you wrap around, it's going to get a little bit closer. Here you're not going to see it as well. Okay, and draw these angled lines. Well, here it's straight on, here it's going to be a little bit angled, and then here it's going to be angled more, and it looks kind of like something that would be bracing this upper section. Okay, now we can shade in this area because it's going to be in shadow. I'm not going for major details here. This is, after all, just a sketch. And now let's just add a couple lines here to shade it in on the right side. And actually, let's go ahead and shade the roof while we're at it and we're thinking about it. Okay, so this part here underneath will be in shadow, so let's just darken this as well. And then, because this is glass, you're gonna actually see the inner part of the ceiling here, so let's just make that a bit darker. And maybe add an indication a little bit here of something inside, and keep these areas white because this is surrounded completely by glass. Okay, we're pretty much done here. Let's just add a window at the bottom. Now this is going to be almost perfectly rectangular because we're getting closer to eye level. Remember, eye level is down here. There will be a slight curve here, but I'm not going to worry about it. And draw an upside down U to indicate the window shape. Maybe a couple window panes here, and maybe darken couple of the window panes, just half of it, shade it in. I'm gonna go ahead and erase some of our initial marks. and our center line, and start shading the bottom part. So let's just draw some very light lines here on the left first. And over on the right to show that this is a cylinder. Okay, I'm going to go back to my harder lead to shade the lighter areas here. It's easier than the soft lead. Let's work on the bottom. So at the bottom, we're going to make this part darker and extend it out now. This is going to be the base, and just make a long, thin rectangle and put a couple lines right here. And these are angular areas, so let's go ahead and make this part really dark. This is one of the areas here that's wrapping around, so it's going to be dark. And then this angled area will be slightly lighter. And then this one will be lighter still. And then this one will just leave white. So now let's just draw a couple angled lines below at the bottom. And finally, let's add some grass. Let's draw the horizon right here with a scribbly line, and just draw some grass, and let's say that it's getting blown a little bit to the left, so we'll keep our angles kind of tilted to the left, maybe a couple tall ones here, and some peeking behind. And we're still going to make this part down here shaded because it's still going to be in shadow, so let's do that. A little bit darker on the right side, and add a little bit of a cast shadow underneath this lip. Okay, and continue on with some grass, maybe a couple lines here in the front, the foreground, and we should be pretty much done. So that's just a quick little sketch of a lighthouse. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please like, share, and subscribe, and click on that notification bell so you'll know when I post more videos. And let me know what you think in the comments below. Appreciate your support, and thanks, and have a great day.